Did you ever think you would be at this level of competition?
No, this is a dream come true.
This is it. Okay, go do the best job ever. It's your turn to shine. Now I'm all emotional over here too. And meeting your idol, and getting a kiss. Look at this kiss. It's like a beautiful, perfect Jennifer kiss.
This is a dream come true.
Hey, everybody. I have the shortest shorts in the world on right now. Let's see if I can not.
There you go. Well, you got to show off the dancer's legs, right?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That is nice after 20 years that you have something that just holds.
So let's talk about this incredible show. I was lucky enough to see the first episode. It's so great. So many amazing dancers. You guys are going to love it if you guys are into dance.
It's crazy exciting, right? It's just nonstop. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so what what got you involved in this project? I know you've hosted or you've been a guest panelist on shows like So You Think You Can Dance and things like that. What made you want to be involved in this show?
To me, because I've been on So You Think You Can Dance, and I've loved dance shows. I mean, clearly I'm a dancer, so I'm always watching them. But for me, it was like, what's the next level, and what are we doing to sort of change it up, do something different, and really bring opportunity for dancers? And so when NBC called me and they said that they were giving $1 million prize, I just was like, I've never even heard of a dancer making $1 million. That was just like mind-blowing to me. And that it was going to be all the different styles and ages and from all over the world. We weren't just focusing on America. We were going all over the world and they said, we just want to find the best. We don't want to find America's favorite. We want to find the best. And I was like, that's going to be really interesting to watch, to see some incredible groups that you guys all know of and have heard of, some brand new dancers from all over the world that are all coming and they're competing together against each other for this $1 million prize. And just in every way, it felt, going back to my roots, but it also felt like we were going to be creating the next level of opportunity for dancers and for the world, and maybe breaking out of the little dance world can be very niche. And if you are a dancer, if you love dance, you're in that little niche spot. But we wanted to open it so that the whole world could get involved. And I just thought it was a great idea, and I couldn't say no.
Especially the $1 million prize. I mean,
yes,
I'll learn to dance if you want to.
That's what I said. I kept saying it. I've said it a million times. I was like, I've danced for a long time. I could go in this competition. I wouldn't be mad at winning $1 million. Like, it'd be so amazing.
But I'm sure you're aware of the struggles that dancers go through. Like you said, you're in this kind of world of dance, and it's hard to sometimes break out.
Yes.
So what was your experience like? I know you grew up in competition shows and things like that.
Well, I grew up actually before any of these shows were around. So I grew up when I was going around doing competitions, doing conventions. I was a studio kid. I was doing ballet, jazz, tap, ballet, everything. And I always say that had these shows been around, that would have been my main goal. I was like, I want to be on that show. I want to do that. So for me, going back to this was just like a dream job, to be able to work with these dancers and help them achieve their dream, which is now on a whole grander scale than it ever was for me as a dancer. It's amazing to be in that journey with them.
And so you are the host / mentor. So you're backstage and giving these dancers advice. What has been a highlight for you so far, being with these dancers and seeing them before they go out on stage and performing for like J-Lo? I would be so nervous.
I know, they were so nervous. I mean, you understand you're performing for your legends and your icons that you grew up loving, but also this is a lot of these dancers that competed their entire life, but they've never competed on a stage the level that we were on for the show, and definitely not on national television, and something that they could be scrutinized on a level they haven't been before. And backstage, it was so nerve-wracking because I was, with them, and this is their dream, and they have one shot. So we don't give them, this is it. You go out there, what you do, you create magic, or you don't. And if you do, you generally move on. If you don't, this is the end of the road for you. So it was very, very high level intensity, and I'm a very sensitive person, and after being a mom, I understand these kids, and a lot of them had their parents there, and I was crying all the time. I was hoping they were going to do the best job they could. I was back there doing the dance with them backstage. I mean, I was such a cheerleader for these kids, and For me, it was exciting. The thing that stands out the most for me was seeing the surprises, where you would think someone would perform a certain way and you have an idea and they pull out something that just gets the whole audience on their feet and everyone's screaming and kind of just brings the house down, and in unexpected moments and unexpected acts. And that's, to me, the best thing about dance is if you can move the audience and if you can make people feel something, and that happened numerous times on the show.
Oh yeah, the first few dances I've seen.
Did you cry at all the first episode?
I did.
See?
Towards the end, I did.
See?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay,
But there's some great acts like Lay Twins who toured with like Beyonce around the show, and they're incredible. And then there was, I think she's like 11 years old.
Diana, was that
yes.
Diana or Eva?
So
they're incredible.
Good. Guys, wait till you see it.
There's a married couple that did you just love them? Keone and Mari. It's funny because I had gone down a YouTube hole looking at Keone and Mari, this YouTube couple that will blow your mind. And I was like, these people are amazing. This is before the show. And then on the show, I said, okay, we really did a good job in casting the best in the world, because I personally knew of them and I didn't know that they found them and they're on our show.
Well, you and Channing should get up there and like battle the married couple out.
We could never battle the people on this show. Let me just say that right now. That is never going to happen.
So how was it for you to take on the role of host? Were you nervous at all? Because, there's so many different competition shows and so much going on. I'm sure it's a little nerve-wracking, but exciting to be hosting one of these really popular shows.
Absolutely. I've never done it, nor had I really ever searched out or looked to do it. But when they brought it to me, it just felt right, and they really were into redefining the role a little bit of it not just being a straight host, and I'm not just talking and saying this is what we're going to do, and moving the show along, but also really being invested in the dancers and giving my perspective and my expertise, if you will, of all the years that I have danced with these dancers, and they wanted that personal feeling, and that's what really sucked me into doing it. And I said, that sounds really fun. And it was a blast. It was hard. We had 2 days before we started filming, so I just learned on the stage, literally, which is, not the first time I've ever done that, where you're up there going, okay, you've got someone in your ear and you're really working through the ins and outs of hosting as well as being there for the dancers. So all in all, it was a learning experience, and I had a really great time. But it was enough of a challenge, too, for me. For me, I really like stepping outside of my comfort zone, and I really like that sort of energy of life. So it was a challenge, and I had a good time. I'm really glad. I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, and look at this crew. You got Neo,
I know,
Derek Huff, and
how come
Jennifer
none of them are doing
Lopez.
dance moves? Huh?
I know,
I'm the
right?
only one on this.
You look
poster.
great, though.
I was clearly very excited at that photo shoot. I'm like,
you gotta be. Look who you're standing next to, too. How much fun has it been to be with this crew?
They're the best. It's so exciting to be a part of a dance show where everyone in the show are dancers. That's, to me, that was one of the first times I've seen that as well. And so we all bring a certain level of our experience as dancers to what we say in the commentary and what we think of these performers. And it was really great because the performers and the acts were almost more nervous because they know they're performing for dancers. There's an expectancy. I can't say that word. That's expectancy. Is that the right word? There's an expectancy of
Grammar
what,
coach, please.
Right. Somebody in here, help me out. Anyways, they knew that they were expecting a lot, so they had to really bring it and perform, and they were nervous, and it was exciting, and then there's a respect that comes from being a dancer and watching a dancer, and I know when I'm hugging them backstage what they've just gone through, and it's just a much nicer feeling to have that in the real authenticity. For sure. And they're so much fun. I mean, we had a blast. I mean, she's an icon in this world.
Awesome.
She really is.
So it's like a different scoring system too. It's not just, like Dancing with the Stars where you have the paddles or you give out scores.
Yes.
It's all based on, I think it's 5 different categories.
Yes. And they're very technical. So, there's performance and charisma and what you bring to, and then also what technicality you bring to the dance. So what was cool is for dancers, a lot of times you get a score. You're like, well, 8, 9, but you don't know why. They might say 30 seconds of why they think, but you want to know, well, okay, for next week, what did you score really high? So it's basically an iPad, and they can show on the iPad where they scored high. So if they did really great performance but lacked in the technical ability, or if they did great tricks but they need to bring it more with the connection between the two of them and the chemistry, they can see that. So they go, okay, next week. And that's why I would work with them a lot, is we would know what their score was, where they were needing help, and then we would work on that. So the next week they would do that better, or they would try to.
Yeah.
And it really helped them.
That's awesome. So we have crews, we have individuals, we also have some cloggers, which is cool.
Clogging. I clogged.
I know you clog with them backstage. Which you guys have
I know. Oh,
yeah.
good. I'm
fun.
glad that made it. I was back there.
What was one of the routines or one of the groups that surprised you the most, or that took your breath away?
Gosh, so many of them. I mean, there's people like the Jabberwockies, who a lot of us know, who are amazing, and Super Crew, who you know. But they decided a lot of times to do something a little bit different than what they're known for, because they wanted to show that they're very creative people, and they took a different approach, and sometimes that really, really worked, and it's beautiful to see. And sometimes people would respond, some people wouldn't. There's this tapper from Nebraska who I was just in love with. He was insane. I mean, I grew up tapping, so I have a very soft spot in my heart for tappers, and there's rhythmatics who brought a new wave, a different type of style to tap. And maybe people who tap can kind of be like, I like it or I don't. They were like, this is amazing, like on their feet. There was so many. I mean, it's so hard. Diana, the little girl that they showed in the clip, she's unbelievable, and she just like, there's people that I'd say eat the stage alive when they dance, and she's just one of them. And I'm like, you're how old? Like, how are you doing that?
She's like insane. A Maddie Ziegler or something.
She's totally, there's so many on the show that are very similar in that kind of, they're just wise beyond their years, and they blow you away. And I always say, I've danced for a very long time. I feel as if I've seen a lot, and there was a lot of moments on the show that I've never seen that, and blew me away.
So let's talk a little bit about your background in dance.
Yeah.
And was your breakout role with Step Up?
I think so. I mean, I wasn't. I don't actually know. I asked somebody else. I was essentially. I was a dancer. I grew up dancing, obviously, and then I danced professionally with artists like Janet Jackson and NSYNC, and I was found into acting, which is interesting because I really had no intention to act. And this manager found me and said, I really think you should look into it. And I said, I don't know about that. I'll go. And I went on one audition. It was for this movie called Tamara, which is yes. Yes, honey. Okay, we have one Tamara Sandra over here. But it was this, horror movie. And anyways, from that I really loved it, and I got sucked into it. And then I did actually another dance movie called Take the Lead, and then Step Up came around. But Step Up was the first one that did well, so I think that would definitely be the breakout. And of course, it was my first sort of bigger role in a bigger movie. At the time, it was a bigger movie, and actually now it was a very small Disney movie, but at the time it was a huge movie, and I was like playing this dancer. So I guess that really was where everything kind of started rolling and developed.
What was it like to be in Step Up, where you were a little nervous about acting, but you have that dance part of it? So was it like the perfect balance for you?
It was. I was very nervous about doing that role justice, because I really I said, there's another kind of experience like this where I was like, I've danced my whole life. I really know this character. I want to make sure that I'm portraying that well. So that's where the nerves came for that movie. And it was about like maybe 2 weeks into filming, both Channing and I kind of we felt ourselves drop into the characters. We were like, okay, now we know who we are. It was like, it kind of came naturally. And it's amazing. It's literally the gift that keeps giving. I still have people come up and they say, Step Up's my favorite movie, and we're casting the Step Up TV show right now.
It's going to be a TV show?
Yes,
awesome.
Step Up, the TV show. And we just casted the 2 new leads. And it's like 10 years later. It's a very cool moment for us.
That's crazy. Do you guys ever watch Step Up together, you and Channing, and go, oh, look, we were little babies 10 years ago. We fell in love on this set.
We both cringe because my face is like this, and he's like, look, he's got this we're just so baby new, so we're like our acting, we're like, what are we doing there? But it's so sweet. I don't think we were talking about this the other day. Do we remember that routine at the end? I think when it was the 10-year anniversary, we did the lift. Yeah. outside our yard just to prove that we could still do it. But my daughter, actually, we were in Mexico on a vacation, and we turned on the TV, and Step Up came on, and it was so funny. We were like, Everly, like, look, it's Mommy, Daddy. And first she didn't think it was us. She's like, that's not you guys. I'm like, no, it's us, Evie. I'm like, it's me. And then she goes, can we watch something good? Just like that. And we were like, humbled. One day she'll appreciate it maybe on a different level. But yeah, she's not so into it. Yeah.
Well, one day she'll watch Magic Mike and be like, wow, Dad can really dance.
And have a lot of questions.
I hope she hasn't watched it yet.
I just hope we got to show it to her before one of her friends at school is like, I saw this movie your dad's, and we're like, come here, let me explain this.
Let's talk about this.
She's been at rehearsals. I mean, there's a part of her that probably gets it.
Magic Mike's now in Vegas, right?
Yes, it's so
awesome.
good. Speaking of amazing dance shows, Magic Mike Live is incredible. And it's a group of amazing dancers that have all trained in different styles and throughout their life. They're so good. It's a great show. It's.
So
I'm so proud
like
of it.
Producers on it, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Chan co-directed it, so it's very, very much in our home right now.
And then you guys were on Lip Sync Battle, and you brought out your dance music again, guys. That was
Yes.
like the best Lip Sync Battle, right? Look at this.
Thanks, guys.
We should.
This is
that
the
on
weirdest
Netflix?
thing for the world to see. Chan as a woman and me as Chan.
Yeah, you're really.
But it was really fun.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Is your daughter into dance at all? Do you think she'll follow in your footsteps?
She was not interested initially. She said no to a class. She's like, I don't want to go. And then just a week ago, actually, it was her dance class day. It's on a Sunday. She said, I think I want to go dance today. And you've never seen me get a child out the house faster in my life. I was like, we're going. And she wore the bright pink tutu and the whole thing. And I filmed the whole thing. It was adorable. And she was following the teacher, which was already a win. And they were doing a dance to MC Hammer's Can't Touch This.
Oh my God. How old is
It's
she?
so good. She's going to be 4.
Oh my God. Can't touch this.
It was so good. They were like doing like this move, like whatever, that move. And I was like, this is too much. And the wave.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was really good. It was a hip hop class.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is she into hip hop?
It was ballet
or is it
and
more
hip-hop.
ballet, contemporary?
She is free. We just have dance parties. We put on music and dance around. She is really into twirling. She likes to twirl and get dizzy. But she knows. I mean, she knows arabesque. I'm not a dance mom. I'm not sitting at home going, tendu, point, arabesque.
I know, like
She's
the
into
stage
it.
moms.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have one, thankfully, but I grew up around them, and they're terrifying. So, will not be that.
I was in theater, and I grew up around some stage moms.
Yes.
Have you met any stage moms on World of Dance yet?
Funny enough, if they weren't showing it backstage. I think they were, very, very confident about what their child was going to do up there. And no, they were very loving. It was very loving. Yeah, great parents.
So you have this project, but you were also on one of my favorite shows, which is Witches of East End.
Oh, thank
I was so sad when it was canceled. Like,
I know.
Anybody else? No? Well, I was.
I was. I love doing that show, too. There's very few times that, first of all, thank you. And there's very few times that there's a role that is so kind of similar to me. And I mean, I'm not a witch. And
like, tell us about
I'm
your
like,
witch.
I don't do spells, but she just Freya had this like fun zest for life and really wanted to be free-spirited, and she just was a blast to play, and I was very, and the chemistry, our cast, we're all still really great friends, actually. We hang out all the time.
Because I'm into all those supernatural shows, and
Me
I loved
too.
it so much. And we just, we're seeing all the canceled, renewed shows right now, and it's always such a bummer, right?
I
guys?
know. For a long time, people thought it might be picked up somewhere else, and everyone at Lifetime was bummed to cancel it. I mean, it was a fun show for everybody.
But you never know. Reboots are really
Yes,
we are living in the age
like
of reboots.
14 years later kind of happening, or Gilmore Girls, right?
They just rebooted American Idol.
Really?
After just a year, yeah. J-Lo, what you gonna do, girl?
I know. You want to do witches?
But, how do you go about choosing, staying at home with your daughter and being home with Channing, or taking on a role? What kind of inspires you?
It changed, for sure. When Everly was born, I take a lot more time to decide what can take away my energy and my focus, Whereas before, you know, it's just work, work, work. It's so much fun. You just want to keep working. And now I really have to look at the project as a whole. You know, how long is it? Do I love it creatively? Does it fit into my life? How much will I be able to see my daughter during the day? There's so many things that go into how I make a career decision at this point. So she's my first priority. My family's my first priority. So I really want to make sure that it lines up with that. But I had a working mom growing up who always showed me what it was like to be independent and doing something you love, and as well as being an amazing mom. So I had a great role model in that sense, and I think that it's good. I think women should be able to do something for themselves and be creative and be professional and do something that they love, because you want your kids to learn to do what they love. And so I think we're all doing the best we can. I think moms, I support everything, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you have a full-time job, part-time job. Do what you can to love yourself and to love, obviously, your children. But we're all doing it, you know. So I take it all into consideration.
Mm-hmm. And you know, with you and Channing both being in the business, how do you guys go about, you know, finding that balance within not only your marriage, but just being home and being away on press tours and movie shoots? And
it's a constant balance. We look at that calendar like 20 times a day. So, okay, tomorrow you're going to be gone from 2 to 5. I'm gone from 1 to 3. You know, it's just like a negotiation, and it only gets crazier after a child. And filming-wise, we've always tried to do one's filming, one's not. That doesn't always work. Sometimes you can't plan for that stuff. You're both filming at the same time. We have a 2-week rule where even if we're both filming somewhere, we'll meet up, you know, and generally Everly will go with us. We kind of all travel. We've been at least 2 as of late. She's only 4, so, you know, change when she's in school, but we travel as a unit. I mean, our 2 dogs. We're like a well-oiled traveling machine, and we generally rent a place wherever we're filming, and we kind of try and make that home. It's our normal. It's not the normal, but it works for us, and as long as we see each other and get time.
And Everly probably has a great experience traveling at such a young age.
She's the best traveler. She could give us all a run for our money in traveling. She knows the deal. She gets in the seat. She's just like, she loves it because she gets extra things like extra stickers, extra snacks. It's like a fun experience for her. And she knows everywhere. Remember that one time we were in Vancouver? Remember in Atlanta? Like, she knows the places and what we do there. Yeah, so it's good.
That's great. Well, you can adopt me anytime. I'd love to join the Tatum.
Would you like stickers on a plane, too?
I love them. But I do want to open it up to the audience for some questions. So here we go.
Hey, Jenna.
Hi.
So you're in one of my favorite shows right now, Supergirl.
Yes.
How did you get involved with the show, and are you planning to ever come back?
I know. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you love the show. I auditioned actually with Makad. They were casting for this role, and I went and read, and we just hit it off and had a great audition. And it was only supposed to be a couple episodes, actually, and it turned out to be the whole season. And it was great for me because it was so fun to play Lucy Lane. And they went through all different kinds of storylines, as you know, in there. You know, all of a sudden it was like, you're the head of the DEO, and then it was like all over the place. But I got to do a lot of fun stuff. And it shot in LA, so it worked really well for our life. And it was fun, and then it ended up doing a second season, but in Vancouver, and it just didn't work as far as lifestyle. But I'm always into going back because I love Melissa, I love Makad, I love Jeremy. All the people on that show are so great. They're so great, and we always talk about it. You know, there's always like a possibility of her coming back, and I want her to turn into Superwoman though, because that's what Lucy Lane in the comics turns into, and I think. Maybe if we can do that, it'd be really fun. We'll see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Hi there, Jenna. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi,
my question is, what is your favorite style of dance, and what dance were you most excited to see on World of Dance?
Ooh, good question. My favorite style of dance, it's so hard between, I'd say contemporary. That was always my favorite. I was kind of in between jazz, contemporary. Those were my fortes growing up, and then I did a lot with hip-hop. But and the style I was most excited to see on the show, I was really excited about a lot of the groups. We have some amazing hip hop groups and some incredible. There was even a stepping crew that was amazing. Which that's the one style of dance I have no experience with, know nothing about, and learning the history of stepping and why they do it and what their message is, and they were amazing, and they chose an incredible song, which you'll love when you see it. That was fun. And I really love all the soloists. There's 14-year-old, a few 14-year-old soloists that do contemporary, are like amazing. Just I don't understand. I never was able to move my body and stretch my leg in that way ever. I was just like, how do they do this? It's like, what's in the water? It's good.
I know one girl, like literally, I think it might have been Diana, like wipes her foot on her forehead.
Oh my gosh.
So flexible, guys. It's crazy.
Oh my God. And
Just wanted to share that.
There's a guy, a contemporary guy dancer who his mom told me on the show that he would break out of his diapers when he was a kid because his hips would go like, you can't, I could never do, I had to have my dance teacher actually sit on me in a split to open up. Like, I was like, it was like, and these kids are just like, whack. I was like crazy.
Born with it.
Yeah, born with it.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to know, do you remember the first time you ever performed live?
First time I ever performed live, yes. Funny enough, it was my first recital. I was 6. I was a bumblebee. It was ballet. And we had to hold hands and chasse in a line across the stage. This is our only dance move. Chassed. And I tripped when I was chasseing, fell down, and then proceeded to make the whole line of little ballerinas fall like dominoes down. And we have this ongoing show. It was like, the irony is I went on and did this professionally. And who knows if any of the other girls became professional dancers, but I ruined the whole performance. So don't quit, people. Never give up. You never know. That's the first one I actually remember.
I hope you have that on tape.
I do, but it gosh, I'm dating myself, but it's like, you're like, is that? Like, it's so blurry. It's like a VHS tape.
Well, I had VHS too, and all my kids' tapes are VHS.
Yeah.
Guys, do you guys know what VHS is?
Do you know
I'm
what
proud of you all then.
Oh my goodness, we just had to ask that question. I feel so old right now.
I know. Anyway, World of Dance premieres May 30th, correct?
Yes.
Guys, it's really great. If you love dance, you'll love the show. I loved it.
I'm so glad you loved it. That's amazing.
Thank you for being here so much, Jenna.
Yeah, you're so
Good to
welcome.
see you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.